Thank you, Hugh. And this is so much more than a football match for Morocco. They have the opportunity to make history for Africa and the Arabic world by reaching the semi-final. And from Casablanca to Tangier, a passionate football nation will grind to a standstill to see if the Atlas Lions can raise their game once again. Portugal have more pedigree, but also more baggage. And the pressure is undoubtedly on the European team here today. A reminder of the two teams: no Cristiano Ronaldo in the Portuguese lineup. No surprise, but of course it's always a story. Ruben Neves comes into their team for William Carvalho. It is Costa in goal, Dalot, Pepe, Diaz and Guerreiro the back four. Otavio, Ruben Neves and Bernardo Silva in midfield. Bruno Fernandes, Gonzalo Ramos and Felix in attack. The Moroccan team, two changes from the side which beat Spain on penalties. Egerd and Mazraoui are both injured. El Yamik and Atiad Allah come into the team. Bunu in goal for them. Hakimi, El Yamik, Saiss and Atiad Allah the back four. Unani, Amrabat and Amala in midfield. Ziyech, Endaziri and Boufal are their attack. There remain 6 teams who can still win the World Cup: Argentina and Croatia, England, France, Portugal and Morocco. But one of those teams will go out here today, and it's Portugal wearing all white, who will get the game underway wearing their chain strip, defending the goal away to our right-hand side. Morocco in the home strip as the home team this evening. Red shirts and green shorts. The former England striker Dean Ashton is alongside me. And Dean, this stadium, far from full, but it feels like a Morocco home game.
Yeah, it certainly does. You're right, it's not as full as we'd hoped, but still, every time Portugal get the ball, expect whistles from those Moroccan fans, and then the chance when their players get the ball, look to get forward, and already we can see they're sat nice and deep. 4-1, 4-1 for Morocco. Very, very difficult to break down.
Quickly played forward on this near side for Portugal, and Gonzalo Ramos will chase, and in the end the challenge comes in from Jawad El Yamik. Big night for him, his first appearance as a starter in the World Cup, and the final touch was off Gonzalo Ramos, and it will be a goal kick taken by Yassine Bunu. And there is a very small knot of Portuguese fans waving their flags down to our right hand side, but both ends are full of Moroccan supporters as Bunu is closed down inside the penalty area, has to find El Yamik on this near side. He clears downfield up to the halfway line, but it's quickly headed away by Ruben Neves, who is sporting a ponytail here this evening. One back by Sofian Amrabat, but now João Felix will quickly bring it forward for Portugal on this near side. Has support from Gonzalo Ramos. There were a couple of appeals from the Moroccans for a free kick, but nothing given by the Argentinian referee Facundo Tello, who was in charge of Portugal's 2-1 defeat against South Korea at the end of the group stage. Don't forget, all the goals as they go in from those games which have survived the weather at home in the EFL over on TalkSport 2, and there will be commentary from Sheffield United against Huddersfield with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern, and we will give you the goals from the championship games here on TalkSport. And of course, coming up at the end of this game, we will begin our build-up to England against France live from the Al Bayt Stadium this evening. And the winners of this game will play the winners of that game on Wednesday night in the semi-finals. But it's very tight at the start here, Dean.
As we'd expect, Morocco aren't going to give Portugal open spaces to run into or play through or find the feet of Fernandes or Bernardo Silva. They'll narrow the gaps. They'll make sure it's difficult. The two centre-backs, Pepe and Ruben Diaz, have got plenty of the ball, and they need to move it quickly and switch play as quick as possible. I think the full-backs will be key. Dalot I've been really impressed with since getting into the side, and Guerreiro and Hakimi for Morocco, all capable overlapping and being nice, high and wide. Can they be the key with how narrow and congested it is in the middle?
Ruben Diaz looks to play it forward on the far side. There is then a very heavy challenge from one of the players who has come into the team, Yahiha Atiat Allah, only his 6th cap this evening, and he really took out his opponent there with a challenge which was studs up around the knee, but only a free kick's been given.
Yeah, it was lucky that he just grazed the leg almost. If he'd have connected with those studs that were up, might have been an issue, but lovely little bit of skill from Dallo.
Bruno Fernandes over the free kick, pinged high into the penalty area, glanced on by Gonzalo Ramos, and in the end it's poured aside by the goalkeeper. It was João Felix who got the final touch at the near post, diving in with the header, and Bruno makes an excellent save.
Yeah, he did. Brilliant save down to his left-hand side, because they beat the offside trap. The João Felix, great header down into the ground, skips up, added pace to it. Bruno was there to his left-hand side to parry it away. It's a good free kick as well from Fernandes, lovely pace on it.
And he will take the corner kick now on the far side, in towards the near post again, and it's headed away comfortably by Endaziri. Now an opportunity for Morocco to try and break forward, but Unahi is quickly closed down, and it will be a throw-in on the far side to the North Africans. And we have played 5 minutes here on Talk Sport, the 3rd World Cup quarter-final. We already know after that tumultuous Friday night that Croatia will play Argentina in Lusail on Tuesday, and now we will find out who will be making the trip to the tent in Albat on Wednesday. And there are so many subplots to this game, on and currently off the field as well, as Morocco look to come forward now, and it's a powerful run forward from Atiat Allah down the left-hand side, tries to drive the cross in, but it was a desperate challenge in the end on the far side to concede a corner from Diego Dallo.
Well, I really like this run from Atiat Allah. He just plays it into midfield and then just runs beyond Dallo, right in between Dallo and Pepe. And fair play to Ruben Diaz, he spots it, he comes right across from that left-hand side centre-back position and has to slide in and concede a corner.
First corner kick for Morocco. 6 minutes played, 0-0 here. And their crowd are in great voice at the start. The corner high in towards the near post, and in the end it was a free header from Endaziri, and it's head in hands from him as it goes over the top.
Yeah, because he knows this is a chance. He gets up nice and early. He's free as well, not a challenge on him. He just mistimes the jump. It's as simple as that. He's slightly fractions on his way down as he's trying to head it and keep it down, and he can't.
So many records broken by Morocco already in this tournament. The first African side to win a group since Nigeria in 1998. The most points from a group stage for an African nation. And they also were the first from that continent to win a shootout. And they are only the 4th African team to make the quarterfinals, and the first since Ghana back in 2010. And they are a team who simply do not concede goals. 7 clean sheets in 8 games, and the only goal was an own goal from Naya Fagerd against Canada. So Portugal will know that they need the details to be right here. Played forward on the far side, but quickly closed down by Endaziri, and it will be a throw-in for Portugal. And of course they have often revelled in the role of being the underdogs themselves in so many big names in both the World Cup and the European Championships, but they are very much the favourites here today.
I think it's important, and they're doing it at the moment, Portugal. Those midfield players, Otávio, Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes, you've got to make runs in behind. You've got to really try and stretch this Moroccan side, which Spain didn't. Spain kept everything in front of them. They were easily marshalled. I think you've got to run in behind, you've got to try and stretch them, pull them out of position. So far they're trying to do that. Another player, Nige, I think, who's gone under the radar, João Felix, has been really good in this competition as well.
Now a high ball played forward for João Felix again on this near side, the left. You'll hear the shrill whistles from the Moroccan supporters every time Portugal are in possession, but in the end it's a throw-in for the Portuguese on this near side. Ruben Neves plays it square to Pepe. who broke a few records himself with his goal against the Swiss at Lucelle the other night. Couple of early goals in the Championship. Teemu Pukki for Norwich. At Swansea they lead by a goal to nil, and Ryan Wintle for Cardiff 1-0 up against Stoke. 0-0 here with 9 minutes played on TalkSport in the Alpha Mama Stadium, the final World Cup match at this venue, one of a number which will be downsized following the tournament. And there have been some really good atmospheres inside this ground, and it is intimidating for the Portuguese at the moment, and certainly their supporters who are doing their best to make some noise away to our right hand side as a high ball is played forward again, aimed for Dalot down the right, but it's skimmed off the top of his head and gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think they've got to try not to force it, Portugal. But again, when they're compact, Morocco, Diogo Dalot, Guerreiro will get nice and high and wide and try and stretch the Moroccan defence. So far, other than that João Felix header, they've been pretty compact.
Yassine Bounou of Sevilla winning his 50th cap this evening for Morocco. Clears downfield, but it's quickly picked up by João Felix. Looks to link up with Gonzalo Ramos, but Morocco will clear. And they need to really keep it tight in the way they've managed to throughout the group stage and also the game against Spain. But at the moment, Portugal are looking to press high, but now Zayas with some lovely footwork finds Sofiane Amrabat, and there's an overlap for Morocco potentially on the left, and it's Atiat Allah quickly playing the ball forward again, and there are options for Boufal into the penalty area for En-Nesyri, but in the end the ball forward is beyond Amala, and it's claimed by Diego Costa.
Didn't they play out well though? Because Portugal really did press them in that corner away to our left hand side, and they played out brilliantly. Zayas with a lovely pass into Amrabat, who just quickly fizzed it round the corner, and away they went. Just couldn't quite get the quality on the pass into Amala.
10 minutes played here on TalkSport. Wall-to-wall World Cup coverage continuing tonight with England against France. Our build-up begins as soon as this game finishes, and of course we could have extra time and penalties if necessary. Of course, both games went the distance last night. There have not been 3 shootouts in World Cup quarter-finals since 1986. Here is Pepe with the captain's armband in the absence of Cristiano Ronaldo. Infield again to João Felix, and wide to Ruben Neves, and back to Bruno Fernandes. Had the opportunity to play the early ball forward down the right, but instead comes infield towards the left. And at the moment, Portugal are controlling the pace of the game with Otavio at the base of midfield, but Morocco will just be happy to sit in because they've done that on so many occasions.
Yeah, they'll just wait for their opportunities to counter. I thought
Otavio taken out there by Amrabat.
Yeah, he's just, again, if that ball goes into that area, you can expect a challenge, you can expect to be tightly marked, and Otavio did well there just to ride the challenge of Amrabat.
And Sofiane Amrabat, one of the Moroccan starters, on a yellow card, along with Romain Saïs, their captain. Single yellow cards are wiped out following this game, but should either pick up another one here today, they would be unavailable for the semi-finals. Bruno Fernandes over the free kick for Portugal, lofted high towards the far post, headed back across the face of goal by Ruben Neves, and then volleyed towards goal powerfully from this near side. Eventually it is scrambled clear, but Morocco make rather heavy weather of that, and they were grateful to have the players in the way because Rafa Guerreiro really caught hold of that.
It was a brilliant volley, wasn't it, from Guerreiro, and it was Gonzalo Ramos who was, as every striker should be, looking to just flick that in just to get a touch past Bounou. He couldn't, it was well blocked in the end actually from Saïs, who seems okay looking at him with that strapping on his hamstring. He's started the game like he's going to be okay.
Well, his left leg was practically mummified by the medical team before kick-off because they were putting on so many layers of strapping to try and allow him to start the game at least, as Morocco try and come forward again now on the far side, and Selim Amala of Standard Liège has been a lively presence for them down the left throughout the tournament, but on this occasion he just runs out of room, and Portugal win the ball back. Equaliser for Stoke thanks to Tyrese Campbell at home to Cardiff. It's 1-1 there in the early stages in the Championship. 13 minutes played here in what has been without any question the coolest day we've had since arriving at this World Cup. Plenty of cloud and heavy rain this morning, but I'm sure that's appreciated by the two sets of players out on the field as Bruno Fernandes swings it wide to this near side, and a lunging Rafa Guerreiro unable to keep the ball in play, and it will be a throw into Morocco.
But that switch is on either side actually, because when João Felix makes the run in behind, or Ramos makes the run in behind, the fullbacks of Morocco are drawn inwards, and then that space, that big space, has been left for the Portuguese fullbacks, and they can switch it quickly, but the quality's got to be better.
And now it's boomed long downfield by Morocco, taken down comfortably by Dalot, and then in towards Ruben Neves again from Pepe, and Diaz finding a central defensive partner. And in this sort of area, Morocco is saying, OK, you can have the ball here, we're quite happy for you to have the ball maybe 20 yards into our own half, and then we'll finally engage.
Yeah, well, they did the same against Spain. They gave him a huge amount of respect. They said, we're going to set up in this way, 4-1-4-1, and it's down to you to break us down, and if you leave gaps, we'll counter-attack against you. And they like to get the ball quickly out to Ziyech or Boufal, the Moroccans.
Bernardo Silva clips it over the top for Guerreiro. High hanging ball in, overhit from the left-hand side, and it will be shepherded out of play by Ali Atala. And it's a throw-in for Morocco. And the stadium, as it often does, has filled up since kick-off time, but thousands of empty seats inside the Alpha Mama, holds around 44,000. And at the moment, I would say that the stadium, in terms of proportion, is about 99.7% Moroccan.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was hilarious almost when yesterday Van Dijk won the toss in the shootout and chose to go behind one goal. It's basically all Argentinian fans except one tiny pocket of Dutch fans, and feels the same here for the Portuguese.
Yeah, looking for Portuguese fans here is like a World Cup Where's Wally picture. 16 minutes played, 0-0 in this quarter-final. England against France coming up, 7 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport, with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot, Stuart Pearce and Faye Carruthers, our team inside the Albat Stadium. The sports bar with Majestic and Carlton Cole will give you a chance to have your say from 10. And a reminder, over on TalkSport 2 at the moment, commentary on Sheffield United against Huddersfield as the Championship really gets back underway, with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern, all the goals as they go in as well. Earlier on today, Preston winning 4-1 at Blackburn in the local derby at Ewood Park, their biggest win there since the days of Tom Finney back in 1959, as Morocco try and come forward now, and there's a useful break forward from Ashraf Hakimi coming in from the right, and Ziyech will look to keep Guerreiro honest with the ball back to Diogo Costa, who now clears long downfield, but it's won well in the air on this near side by Yawad El Yamik, and all Portugal can do is just hammer the ball forward again, and it will be a goal kick. And Morocco have gradually grown into this game with 17 minutes played, and at the moment Portugal are just finding it more difficult to move the ball around midfield in the style they've become accustomed to.
Yeah, they're becoming a little bit frustrated, Portugal, but that's better from Dalot.
He's won it back and found Ruben Neves. Now João Felix into the penalty area looking for Gonzalo Ramos, but again Morocco will win it back, and now they will try and break over the halfway line on this near side, wide to Hakim Ziyech. 3 wait for the cross inside the penalty area. Ziyech goes himself, and he was wasteful. Left-footed shot dragged wide of the near post.
But that's what they want. They want it to get to the wide players, either Boufal or Ziyech. Ziyech this time, all he wants to do is get on that left foot of his. Jinx inside Otavio, who hasn't got the pace to stay with him, and he'd be really disappointed with that effort. Just dragged it shy of the near post. No real power, no real direction, and it's a half an opportunity, he would feel, with his quality, not to have tested the goalkeeper.
Now Guerrero on this near side, the left. Infield again to Ruben Diaz of Manchester City. And both he and Pepe have been a very good combination so far for Portugal. Of course, they've not been known for their goals in the knockout rounds in recent years. They scored 6 in their previous 8 games in major championships in the knockouts, before scoring 6 in one night against Switzerland the other day. Sheffield United lead Huddersfield Town by a 1-0 in our commentary game over on TalkSport 2. Billy Sharp with the opening goal at Bramall Lane. Here it is 0-0 with 19 minutes played on TalkSport at the World Cup. Such a significant Saturday of action, with England against France coming up later on. Stoke now lead Cardiff by 2-1. Liam Delap has turned things around there at the Bet365. As Morocco win a free kick for a shove from Gonzalo Ramos over on the right on Sofiane Boufal.
Yeah, he's got the tricks, Boufal. I think we saw some of that in England, and he did a little bit of skill there in the corner to get Morocco out of a tight situation. And of course, big roar from the Moroccan fans for that. Every little bit of every tiny win on the pitch will be cheered and roared on.
Well, this is not the easiest ground to get to relative to the others served by the Metro around Doha, and maybe that's why the ground is filling up later than usual. But now it is a sea of Moroccan flags at both ends of the stadium. Of course, they are not just representing themselves, in many ways they are representing the entirety of Africa here and the Arabic nation, and there's no doubt that they have the local support as Ounahi brings it forward now, infield to the right hand side. There's an option down the right now, and it's Ziyech who's twisting and turning onto the left, swings the ball into the penalty area, but it was overhit and straight into the arms of Costa.
Well, what I would say is you've got to do better there as they give the ball away.
Amrabat quickly wins it back in the midfield, wide to Ziyech on this near side again, onto the right foot this time, and his cross is closed down by Rafa Guerrero at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, that was silly though from Diogo Costa, the goalkeeper, just trying to roll that out to a player with his back to the play, and they got caught. But João Felix has got to do better. When it went out to Ziyech, he just allowed him to get on that left foot and cross with no real pressure.
And Ziyech will now take the corner, a left-footed in-swinger on this near side, has support from Hakimi, driven into the near post, and Bruno Fernandes is able to step in before Endesiri and head the ball behind once again. Corner's played short this time, but there were 2 balls on the pitch as Reading take the lead against Coventry. Amadou Salif Mbengwe with the opening goal in Berkshire today. A number of games have been called off. TalkSport.com, the best place to check on the full list, as the ball's worked into the penalty area from the corner for Sofiane Boufal, but he's just levered off it by Bruno Fernandes, and it will be a goal kick for Portugal. But 22 minutes played, Dean Ashton, and very little between these two teams.
Well, exactly. I mean, possession at one point got up to 79% for Portugal. It's now at 73, which means that Morocco have just had a little bit more of the ball. They've been a bit more adventurous in their play. And it was very similar against Spain. I don't think it'll change. They'll just try and wait for their moments.
João Felix on this near side, the left, and he's quickly closed down by Hakimi, and it will be a throw-in to Portugal. And really, Achraf Hakimi against João Felix looks to be one of the key confrontations out on the field today. And it will be a throw-in which Rafael Guerrero will take, and he wins it back and looks to deliver a cross into the penalty area. Bunu comes a long way, and he was clattered there in the air, and very quickly players from both sides converge. It was Bruno Fernandes who caught him in mid-air, and I think that Bruno Fernandes is saying that, look, it was a ball I had to go to, but he's quickly surrounded by irate Moroccans.
Yeah, I mean, Bunu's not particularly happy with him, and why should he? It was obvious that Fernandes was never going to win that in the air against Bunu, and he just charged into the back of him. It's a silly challenge really from Bruno Fernandes, and probably hurt himself in the end, just grabbing his ribs.
Still empty seats inside the stadium. We're hearing a few people have been saying that ticketless fans trying to get into this ground are causing issues outside. There are also extra layers of security for people trying to get into this ground today, and we have to say, when we come through the media areas, you're never more than 6 yards away from someone keen to check your pass, but that's the way it is. And there are plenty of stewards outside. I have to say, I arrived at the stadium in Lusail to watch the Argentina game last night, and there was a line of riot police outside the Metro Stadium, something which I've not seen at this World Cup so far, as Hakimi tries to bring it forward on this near side for Morocco, but he's closed down by Bernardo Silva, and it will be a throw-in to the North Africans. And their coach, Walid Regragui, on the edge of his technical area. What a job he has done. He was in charge of Wydad, the African Champions League winners this season. Only took over at the end of August when Valid Halahodzic, the coach who guided them through qualification, was sacked, basically because he fell out with all of the senior players. But Regragui has a very laid-back style, but it's clearly one which the senior players appreciate, as it's poked forward now by Amala, who manages to roll his man Ruben Neves. He's hauled down midway inside the Portuguese half, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, they're just growing in confidence, the Moroccans. They've got good players. Get them on the ball. Ziyech has started to get into the game. Hakimi's now getting up the pitch. They're starting to look like a good side again.
Free kick which Ziyech is over with 25 minutes played here on Talk Sport. 0-0. Flipped in by Ziyech, flicked on by En-Nesyri and wide. And once again it was a really good opportunity. He got the run on Ruben Neves inside the penalty area, but guided the header beyond Diogo Costa, but also wide of that near post.
Yeah, he just got too much on it, but this would have had to have been perfect, the header, because there wasn't the pace on it. Because it was quite central, the free kick, Ziyech has just kind of clipped it in with a little bit of curl on it, and then En-Nesyri would have had to have met that perfectly with the perfect trajectory in the header to have beaten Costa, and he just tried to put an extra little bit on it, put it wide.
0-0, and the ball was just won back there while Dean was talking by Sofian Amrabat. And I think if you were making up a team of the tournament now, he'd be in it.
Bunu?
No, Amrabat.
Amrabat's been excellent. He's been so good, because he is left as that one player. It's 4-1, 4-1, and he's left as that one player to just marshal that ball going into the number 10s or the midfield players running on, and he marshals it brilliantly and stops it going into the centre forward as well.
And you can hear the noise reverberating around the Alpha Mama Stadium from the Moroccan supporters, and I have to say the Tunisians and the Argentinians, have been the most vocal and produced the best atmosphere so far at this World Cup in the games I've been to. And there's no doubt this team have been carried by their fans. They've given them so much to enjoy, of course, but you just get the feeling that Morocco have been patched up and sent out on so many occasions, but there's an inner spirit, there's a steel there, isn't there?
Oh, there is, and there's an organisation as well to the way that they defend. You know, they all know their jobs, they all shuffle across every time the ball moves into a different area of the pitch, and then they are incredibly aggressive and engaging in the way that they defend. And you've got to be good, your touch has got to be assured, or else they'll be at you.
Well, Morocco with 3 attempts on goal so far, all off target. Portugal have only had 2, and it was the header from João Felix which was turned aside by Yassine Bounou. 27 minutes played, 0-0. Bruno Fernandes with another burst from midfield, tries to play it square to Ruben Neves, but he's quickly closed down by Sofiane Boufal, which was not a sight that Southampton fans saw too often during his time on the south coast. Back now to Ruben Diaz. Bernardo Silva, wearing number 10, takes over. Square to Pepe. a player who will be 40 in February, but he's still first choice for Portugal. This is 133rd appearance here this evening. Now Bruno Fernandes once again, a willowy presence, weaving away from the challenges, tries to launch it wide to this near side, looking for Rafa Guerreiro, but overhit, out of play for a goal kick. And you can see Walid Regragui applauding the way his team are closing down, and also just telling them to close down. And Fernando Santos never looks like somebody who's got a fairly happy disposition, but at the moment he knows his team are in a game and they need to find a way of solving these problems.
They do, yeah. I mean, he's got that resting grumpy face that I've been accused of, and he'll be frustrated that they haven't moved the ball quick enough, and also when they've got not bored but frustrated, they've then tried the extravagant pass over the top, and I don't think they need to do that. You've got to be really, really patient, but keep making those runs in behind, keep trying to stretch and then wait for the opening.
And the Syria did well to win the ball in the air there. It was their miss kick by Ruben Neves, but eventually gathered by Dallo on the far side, further forward, and in the end the ball just spins out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Morocco. And we keep checking on Romain Saiz, their captain, and he's moving fairly freely at the moment, looking to try and take care of Gonzalo Ramos, the Benfica youngster who made such an impression in that game against the Swiss. But now Morocco have given the ball away straight to João Felix on this near side. Now Guerreiro finding Ruben Diaz, but so quickly Morocco get back into their defensive shape, and the high ball forward is headed away only as far as João Felix, and the shot was deflected. It took Bunu out of the game and it skimmed the roof of the netting.
Oh, they're lucky. I mean, the deflection is wicked off El Yamek, who just turns his back slightly and it skims off his backside, and they think it's in, and it just grazes the roof of the net.
Half an hour played, 0-0 here on TalkSport at the Al Famama Stadium to the south of Doha, and you can hear the boos all around Bruno Fernandes as he shapes up for this corner kick played short to Rafa Guerreiro, but the referee will order a retake because he was still sorting out some nonsense inside the penalty area.
But there's so many whistles that it can be hard for the players to know exactly when to take a free kick, whether it's a foul, if they need to stop. Very difficult with the amount of noise and the whistles reverberating around this stadium.
Corner played short again to Rafa Guerreiro, scooped into the near post, cleared away, and Ziyech unable to lead a breakout for Morocco. But it's a throw in to Portugal on this near side, which Bruno Fernandes will take. A player who scored 7 times in 12 games for Portugal during this calendar year. Now it's wide towards Dallo on the far side again. Both fullbacks looking to get forward as much as possible, but they'll be wary of the threat of players like Boufal and Ziyech coming the other way. Now Bruno Fernandes once again. João Felix, square to the familiar figure of Pepe with that shaved head glinting under the floodlights here as darkness has now descended in Qatar. Bruno Fernandes again tries the Hollywood ball over the top, one bounce straight out of play beyond Diego Dallo for a goal kick.
His radar is way off at the moment, Bruno Fernandes. Either side just keeps whacking it out of play. It's got to be better, because that's the key. When you have opened up a tiny bit of space and that switches on, the quality's got to be right, and then you're in. So far it hasn't been, but Morocco, they'll be happy to turn this into a snooze fest. Honestly, they did it against Spain. They'll wait for any odd opportunity to counter-attack, and they'll just try and frustrate Portugal and allow them to have the ball in non-dangerous areas.
A reminder, over on TalkSport 2, commentary of Sheffield United leading Huddersfield by a 0-0, plus all the goals as they go in, and the reports on the return of the Championship in full force in the EFL. Here on TalkSport, we will continue our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage with England against France coming up. 7 o'clock kickoff from the Al Bayt Stadium, and I'm told from our team there it is a very chilly evening up north, relatively speaking, in Doha, and it's getting a bit chilly here. Did you bring the jumper?
I did, just in case. Didn't think I'd need it on this trip,
No.
but you're right, it's definitely turned, and I think the air conditioning's probably still on in this stadium.
It is, yes. Not really needed on a night like tonight, as another long ball is played forward in the general direction of Gonzalo Ramos, but it's allowed to bounce by Atiat Allah, but he's able to clear the ball away and find Hakimi. Oof, it was a confident ball back towards Bunu in a crowded area, but he found his goalkeeper. His first time ball forward finds Ziyech. It's now cushioned down towards Unahi. A high ball forward from him, from right to left, towards Boufal, who comes in field, has support from Hakimi. Boufal goes himself, now wide to the far side, played back into the penalty area and volleyed over the top by Selim Amala when he was very well placed.
Oh, that's a half chance for Morocco. They got lots of red shirts forwards. It was a great cutback from Atiat Ali. He just picks out Amala, but it's the half volley, left foot swinging opportunity, and you've got to get it perfect when it's a half volley such as that, and he just is a fraction late with the contact, and you can't stop it going over the bar when you do that.
And you'll know from the whistles that Portugal are on the ball once again, but only briefly. Here is Unahi, one of the youngsters who was really impressed in their midfield, the player who is featuring for Angers in the French league, and now there is an opportunity for Morocco to spring forward again with Boufal. Left hand side, he comes in field, tries the curler, but it's a comfortable save for Diogo Costa.
Well, there's lots of space for Morocco on that Portugal right hand side, because Bruno Fernandes has tucked himself right in, and it just leaves Diogo Dalot. He's getting overrun now, 2v1 with Boufal and Atiat Allah. Boufal it was who came inside and was looking to curl, and it was well read actually by Costa. He knew exactly what he was going to do and just gathered easily.
35 minutes played, Portugal 0, Morocco 0 here in the World Cup quarter-finals on Talk Sport. Portugal in their third match at this stage. They dramatically came from 3-0 down to beat North Korea 5-3 at Goodison Park back in 1966, and then they beat England on penalties following a goalless draw in Gelsenkirchen in 2006 when Wayne Rooney was sent off and Cristiano Ronaldo scored the winner. Lovely football from Morocco again, and now Unahi with a weaving run up towards the halfway line. He was eventually held back by Ruben Neves, and it will be a free kick for Morocco. More goals going in. Millwall 0, Wigan 1. Kolo Touré's first match in charge for Wigan. Will Keane with the opening goal there, and Jordan Clark has scored for Luton, another team playing under a new boss, Rob Edwards. For the first time they lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to 0. TalkSport 2 for all the goals as they go in from the EFL, plus commentary of Sheffield United against Huddersfield, where the Blades lead by a goal to 0. Now Unahi gets another free kick, and I really like him because he gets on the ball and he's looking to commit opponents as soon as he gets it.
Well, and that's really important as well, because when you do get the ball and you've been defending for long periods, sometimes you need that player that can travel with the ball and open the space up to counter-attack. He's done it well so far.
0-0, 37 minutes played. At the moment this game has the look of a long evening, with extra time and penalties a possibility. You want to get to the England game, you don't need that. Here is Saiz with the bright red boots, wide to this near side, and the player who has come in today, Jawad El Yamik, in the absence of Meir Fegur. The long ball forward looking for En-Nesyri again, and En-Nesyri of course wins so many balls in the air, but he's very quick on the ground as well, and Portugal will need to be careful. Here is Ruben Neves coming forward, wide to this near side, and Rafa Guerreiro, and now Ruben Diaz. And communication for the Portuguese players may be slightly difficult in this sort of atmosphere. Of course they'll be used to it. They played in intimidating atmospheres for club and country for many years, but this will feel like an away game for them here this evening. Now Pepe forward again towards Bruno Fernandes, but he's shown too much of that ball to Boufal, and now there's an opportunity for Morocco to break, but players being brought back, and Boufal has been penalised for a stray arm into the face of Otavio, and Morocco believe that they've been harshly treated there by the Argentinian referee.
Well, it was pretty obvious. He just tried to hand Otavio off. He didn't really catch him too much, but it was quite obvious, the hand going up towards the face. So that's why Facundo Tello has given the free kick.
Now Joao Felix coming forward. He was looking for Gonzalo Ramos on the edge of the area, but it's cleared away by El Yamic. But quickly, Portugal come forward down the left again. Rafa Guerreiro with the ball in, and the volley over the top from Joao Felix. Everything falling to him at the moment, but this time he was off target.
I mean, it's a really, really difficult chance because it's fired in and it skips up to about hip height, where he's then trying to volley it first time with his right foot. It was a great cross in from Guerreiro, but it had lots of pace on it and difficult to control for Joao Felix. But you're right, it keeps falling to him and he just cannot keep it on the target with that half volley. But it's a half chance, it's not a glaringly obvious chance.
But Portugal so far have only had one attempt on goal, and that came in the 4th minute, the header from Joao Felix. And at the moment they are dominating possession, but they are creating relatively little, which is a more familiar Portugal in recent years to the one which we maybe saw the other night.
Again, I think it was more of a one-off than a theme for Portugal. But ultimately, you know, this is a team that's not going to give them any space whatsoever, Morocco, and you've got to work hard for your chances, and when they do come around you might just have to take a half chance.
Well, there is a concern here as eventually Gonzalo Ramos gets back to his feet. You could hear the Viking clap going on at both ends of the stadium there, all Moroccan fans, as Chuba Akpom equalises for Middlesbrough. 1-1 at home to Luton in the Championship. 0-0 here in Doha with 4.5 minutes to play in the first half on Talk Sport. England against France coming up, 7 o'clock kickoff. Our coverage begins as soon as this game finishes. Joao Felix looking to bring it forward on this near side, but he was offside anyway, and it will be a free kick for Morocco.
It's very frustrating, isn't it, for Portugal to not be allowed to get it into the feet of Bernardo Silva, of Bruno Fernandes, into those dangerous areas. They're trying to find a way on the outside, yet to find the quality to really hurt this Moroccan defence. I mean, Saiss hasn't been tested, has he? Not really, in terms of a running behind or a 1v1. He'll be happy.
Well, 7 clean sheets in 8 games for Morocco, so the change in personnel at the moment doesn't really seem to have made too much of a difference. Ziyech just slips as he plays it wide towards the far side, but it's brought down by Boufal. Infield to Onana, and now Boufal again. I'm not sure Onana wanted the ball back, but he's ridden the challenge of Bruno Fernandes. Wide to the far side, high cross it for Matiatalo, looking for En-Nesyri! And Morocco have scored! Youssef En-Nesyri beating Diego Costa to the high ball, and there is African delight all around this stadium. Morocco have done it again, and this time it could carry them all the way to the semi-finals. Uncharted territory for Morocco, uncharted territory for Africa, and their fans are jubilant, and Portugal now have a real problem to solve. Morocco 1, Portugal 0.
And what a leap this is from En-Nesyri. It's like he's jumped on a trampoline. Diogo Costa comes out, he thinks he's claiming easily, and he's flying. En-Nesyri, so much ground beneath his feet as he's up in the air, and powers the header into the floor, into the roof of the net. A Morocco lead. That's all about En-Nesyri's leap and desire and hunger to get that header in.
And he becomes the first Moroccan player to score 3 goals in World Cup finals. Just before half-time, Youssef En-Nesyri. And this game has been broken open by the Africans. And what do Portugal do now?
I mean, Diogo Costa, the Portuguese goalkeeper, I mean, his mouth is wide open. He cannot believe how high En-Nesyri rose for that header.
Now Ruben Diaz with a high ball forward at the other end. It's cleared away initially, headed back in field by Dalot, but Morocco will clear. And a reminder, no opposition team has scored against them in this World Cup. The only goal was an own goal, and now En-Nesyri has been fouled as he looked to chase a high ball forward, and it will be a free kick. Pepe is complaining. Ruben Diaz was the player who just pulled his shirt. Ruben Diaz was the player caught underneath that prodigious leap from Youssef En-Nesyri.
Well, he thought his goalkeeper had it, was just going to claim easily. Wow, what a leap. And I tell you what, if you thought they defended well at 0-0, watch them now. I mean, they're going to be so hard to get through when they've got a goal to defend.
And we come to the World Cup to experience different footballing cultures and different footballing attitudes, and the Moroccan fans have been magnificent, and at the moment they are enjoying themselves. Bruno Fernandes though goes for goal, an audacious volley from wide on the right hand side, and it comes back off the crossbar. And Portugal almost come up with an equaliser, which would have been one of the most spectacular goals of this World Cup.
Well, there's no way he means it. He's just trying to hook this into the area, and he slices it just a tiny bit, and he catches out Bunu, goes over his head and kisses the crossbar.
Millwall have equalised against Wigan. Zion Fleming makes it 1-1 at the New Den. It's often noisy there, it's noisy here. Morocco leading by a goal to nil. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half as it's won back by Gonzalo Ramos. Now Otavio tries to play it into the penalty area, but again Morocco defend with such durability. Hakim Ziyech was the player who was back there to make the challenge and get the ball away. They're not just playing for themselves, they're playing for an entire continent here, and every single one of them knows it. And Portugal have lost their last 10 World Cup games when conceding first, going all the way back to the quarter-final back in 1966 against North Korea. And there is a Portuguese player down inside the penalty area, and it's Otavio who was caught, and he was looking towards the referee. It was Achraf Hakimi who then, I think, tried to pick him up, and Hakimi went crumpling to the turf.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a little bit of extras there. I think Otavio is making a lot of it. Of course he's going to be made to work for it as they go head to head again.
And there's something going on there between Amrabat and Otavio. Now João Felix into the penalty area, and Bruno Fernandes goes down, looks for the penalty appeal, and he can't believe it. He's slapping at the turf when it's waved away. Well, the Portuguese bench are all up, all complaining.
Well, it was head to head between Hakimi and Otavio. It's just whether one went for the other.
Now Bernardo Silva on the far side almost skips away from the challenge of Atiatala, but he wins it back, and there are signs here that the Portuguese are losing their heads. And Morocco look to come forward again now. Onahi has been released by an excellent ball forward. En-Nesyri to the right hand side, but to the left there is space inside the penalty area, and the shot is driven wide. What an opportunity for Atiatala. Had so much space inside the penalty area. He saw the glory, but his shot sliced wide of the near post.
Oh, it's a horrible slice. The problem was that he just made his strides too big. When you stride so big towards a chance, I think you're always going to miss. Little steps needed to control your body and then take the strike. Instead he was lunging at it and sliced it wide.
Bruno Fernandes went down inside the area. It looked to be a dive to me.
Oh, just a bit. Just a bit.
Ridiculous. Now he plays a long ball forward again, but play's been halted because En-Nesyri is down. And bear in mind, this Argentinian referee sent off 10 players in one game before he came out here. He's now blown the whistle for half-time, and he is surrounded by Portuguese players. Bruno Fernandes eventually departs the scene. Pepe is also having his say. A steward actually goes across to just make sure that the referee is okay. Then a member of the Portuguese backroom team is also going over, and there is acrimony on and off the field here as we head towards half-time. The Moroccans very quickly depart the scene. They are quite happy, but now there are words between Hakimi and Bruno Fernandes as they head down the tunnel, and we'll just watch the tunnel camera here as we watch the players go off. The Portuguese are absolutely livid with one or two decisions which went on after the goal was scored, but now they need to calm down and focus, because Morocco are 45 minutes away from a World Cup semi-final for Africa. Half-time, thanks to Youssef Endesiri, it is Morocco 1, Portugal 0. Thank you, Hugh. Youssef Endesiri has scored 2 goals for Morocco here at the World Cup. He scored 2 goals in all competitions for Sevilla so far this season, but he has clearly proved to be the man for the big occasion for the Atlas Lions, and they lead here by 1-0, 45 minutes away from a World Cup semi-final, the first ever for Africa. And it's Morocco in their red shirts and green shorts, defending the goal away to our left-hand side. Portugal wearing all white, and their fans have been swamped by those supporting the Atlas Lions, and there were signs that the Portuguese were just beginning to lose their composure following that goal 3 minutes before half-time from Endesiri. No changes to either side at half-time. The Moroccan team, Bounou in goal, Hakimi, El Yamik, Saiss and Atiad Allah, the back 4, Unani, Amrabat and Amala across midfield, Ziyech, Endesiri or Boufal in attack. The Portuguese team, Costa in goal, Dalot, Pepe, Diaz and Guerrero, Otavio, Ruben Neves and Bernardo Silva, Bruno, Gonzalo Ramos and Joao Felix leading their attack, and everything seemed to fall to Joao Felix inside the Moroccan penalty area in the first half, but only one effort on target from the Portuguese as Dalot tries to deliver a cross into the penalty area. Here it was deflected behind by Atiad Allah, and a corner kick for Portugal right at the start of the second half, and they are attacking the end, which has their supporters in it, and I would imagine there are around 150 Portuguese fans inside the stadium. Bruno Fernandes with the ball in, Pepe goes down clutching his face, nothing given. Now Ziyech on the far side, and you suspect, Ian Ashton, it could be one of those second halves where high balls are played into the penalty area and players like Pepe will often go down. I mean, Saiss grabs his shirt for a millisecond, he doesn't actually pull it, he just grabs it, and Pepe flings himself to the floor looking at the referee, and you're not going to get those decisions. Portugal have got to be better. They've got to be better in possession, their movement's got to be better, the ball's got to move quicker, and they've got to use that width because that's where the space is. Facundo Tello of Argentina is our referee, and he does have a reputation for red cards, although none in this tournament so far. Ruben Neves, wide to the far side, a low ball towards the edge of the penalty area, is cut out by Hakimi, and he charges forward now. Endesiri is ahead of him, but Hakimi goes down the right, drawing the challenge and then skipping away from it. Terrific play from him down the right-hand side. Now he may need support as he looks to take on Pepe. He goes down, Pepe fouls him, and it's a free kick here for Morocco in a great area, but the way that Hakimi skipped away from Ruben Neves there was tremendous. He's just got so much athleticism and pace, Hakimi, and add the skill in as well, the way he just jinked past Pepe. I mean, it was a mismatch really. It was Neves who tried to stay with him originally and couldn't. He went to ground, and then Pepe the same. Cristiano Ronaldo is warming up for Portugal, and really no wonder, because they need a lift in this game. 48 minutes played, trailing Morocco by 1-0. History is beckoning here for the North African nation in the World Cup quarter-finals, live on Talk Sport. Hakim Ziyech is over the free kick, and his deliveries from this sort of position have been very good throughout the tournament. Endesiri will be one of the targets. He's waiting on the edge of the 6-yard area, flighted in towards the near post, deflected and just wide. Well, Diego Costa lost that inside the penalty area. The final touch, I think, was off Yawad El Yamik. It could have gone anywhere, and Portugal escape.
Oh, it's a wicked delivery from Hakim Ziyech, and they just miss it. El Yamik, he just misses the first one. It then rebounds off the goalkeeper, who doesn't know anything about it, just hits him. It then hits El Yamik and unfortunately goes wide. But what a delivery from Ziyech. It was just flat, it was pacey, the goalkeeper couldn't come for it. So unlucky.
Hakim Ziyech alongside Hakimi, making their 8th World Cup appearance here today, which overtakes the record set by Mustafa Hadji. And Morocco, who did once win their group ahead of England back in 1986, and the only previous occasion that they got out of the group stage, have surpassed that here, and they're looking to go even further. But here is Otavio on the edge of the penalty area, but very quickly the red shirts converge on him, and they win it back, and it's played wide towards this near side by Boufal, looking for Atiat Allah, who had a great chance to make it 2-0 just before half-time. Now on this near side, and the series loses out to Bruno Fernandes, but it breaks down for Portugal once again, and they're playing in such a frenetic air here that things are not happening. And now there will be changes very early on in the second half. Cristiano Ronaldo and João Cancelo are the players who will be introduced.
Well, things haven't changed, and they're just being overpowered physically, and they're being outworked, and clearly want a change.
Where they can hear what the Moroccan supporters think of the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo. The players withdrawn are Rafa Guerreiro and Ruben Neves. Ronaldo comes on, takes the captain's armband, winning his 196th cap this evening, which equals a FIFA record. But his team are behind here. They need something. They need some inspiration from him. A plethora of Manchester United and Manchester City players on the field now for Portugal, as João Felix plays it wide to Ronaldo on the left-hand side. El Yamik goes across to make the challenge. The cross in from Ronaldo was flighted in with too much air, and it's claimed by Yassine Bounou unchallenged.
Yeah, it was too easy in the end. It's good work from Ronaldo down the left-hand side, but then when you're playing that in, you can't float it up for Bounou. Extremely tall goalkeeper, and he claimed that easily.
The record set by Kuwait's Badr Al Mutawa of 196 men's appearances has been matched here by Cristiano Ronaldo. Sofiane Boufal has gone down, clutching the small of his back on this near side. He was leaping in the air above Diego Dallo, who maybe just turned to make a back for him, and it was a heavy fall to earth for Sofiane Boufal, and he's receiving treatment at the moment. 52 minutes played on TalkSport. What a story developing here. Morocco leading Portugal by a 1-0, and whatever happens tonight at Al Bayt, it will be significant, with England playing France, and at the moment the winners of that game will play Morocco in the semi-finals.
I know, it's what this World Cup's been all about, hasn't it? Shocks and surprises, but also teams you've got to admire. Morocco are one of those teams.
Ziyech again on the far side. Great work rate from him to close down the pass, looking for João Cancelo, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Portugal. And the Moroccan supporters now have their camera phones on at both ends of the stadium, creating that effect as Gonzalo Ramos comes very deep to win the ball. Now Otavio in towards Gonzalo Ramos again, and quickly Diego Dallo is closed down on the edge of the penalty area, and Nasiri will chase forward, and Pepe gets there first. Here is Bruno Fernandes. We can anticipate more possession from Portugal in this second half, because Morocco, we know, can defend, and very rarely do they concede, as it's swept wide on this near side, looking for Bruno Fernandes, but over his head from Otavio, and it will be a throw-in for Morocco. And already they are looking to manage the clock here with 9 minutes played in the second half.
Yeah, they're going to make it difficult, aren't they? They're going to slow everything down, win free kicks. Portugal look like they've almost gone to a 4-4-2 with Fernandes on the right, João Felix on the left, and Otavio, Bernardo Silva as the two midfield players. I mean, that's a brave move and the two up front, obviously Ronaldo and Gonzalo Ramos, but it's a brave move to leave Bernardo Silva and Otavio in your middle when Morocco attack.
Now Bruno Fernandes finding Dallo on this near side, the right. Low ball into the penalty area, into the breadbasket of Yassine Bounou.
It's a waste from Dallo. Gets himself in a really good position. He's got time and no pressure. He just needs to pick out a white shirt, and instead he just fires it aimlessly straight into the goalkeeper's arms. That's a chance to put it on a plate for somebody.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo has never scored for Portugal in a World Cup knockout game, and he needs one more to equal Eusebio's World Cup record when he scored 9 times in 1966. But now Pepe has brought the ball forward, and he's been robbed by Sofiane Boufal. En-Nesyri is ahead of him on the edge of the penalty area, and he's got support. Unani was set up by En-Nesyri, but got right underneath the right-footed shot, high over the crossbar. But that's the danger Morocco possess on the counter-attack.
It is. It's brilliant for Boufal, and that's the problem though. They're wide open in the middle of the pitch with those two Portuguese midfield players not really playing that role properly. And when it was laid back by En-Nesyri, Unahi tried to give it absolutely everything, got it horribly wrong and skied it, almost made it into that second tier, which would be saying something.
Achraf Dahi will be coming on now for Morocco. He's not played at all in the World Cup. Plays for Brest in the French League, only 5 previous appearances, and he's coming on now with his team 1 up in a World Cup quarter-final. All the best.
But it just slot into that team ethic that they've got, I'm pretty sure.
Well, Walid Regragui has been one of the coaches of this World Cup. Only had a couple of months to assess his options, but there is a problem here for Romain Saiss, and the stretcher is out, and I think finally the captain's race is run.
I mean, it's been a monumental effort from him to even get out here. It was obvious in the warm-up that he was struggling to get through that first half. He obviously did, but all of a sudden a bit more pressure in this second half, more forward players around him. Maybe that's just given up that muscle, that hamstring muscle.
And they are going now to players who are very much in the B team for Morocco in normal circumstances. Achraf Dahi, of course, Naif Egurd and Nouassim Mazraoui already injured for this game, and now the captain, Romain Saiss, is carried off. Sympathetic applause from the Moroccan supporters, but there'll be some concerned looks as well. But what an opportunity for Achraf Dahi. All he's got to do is come on and mark Cristiano Ronaldo out of the game when they're in the semi-final. 57 minutes played here on TalkSport. England against France coming up at 7 o'clock. Morocco leading here by a goal to nil. Bruno Fernandes down the right-hand side in towards Otavio. High cross into the penalty area, and the header is wide from Gonzalo Ramos. A free header 7 yards out, and he failed to hit the target.
Brilliant though from Otavio, honestly, on the back foot, just swivels away from his marker and then just clips that ball in towards Gonzalo Ramos, and he gets it horribly wrong. He's just trying to guide that in towards the left hand side. It comes off the right hand side of his forehead and bounces off as if it was a Toblerone.
And it seems that Romain Saiss is in tears on the Moroccan bench as they assess his injury. But now at the other end, Ziyech is chasing forward, and he's onside down the right-hand side. Ziyech has got support, but instead tries one trick too many, and it's won back by Dallo. But Portugal rather loose in possession, but it's played forward by Diaz, and now Bruno Fernandes looking to release the pace of João Felix down the left-hand side. Ronaldo waits inside the penalty area. João Felix checking back though. A low ball in to find Otavio on the edge of the box. Here is Ronaldo. Ronaldo onto the left foot, but coming back to make the challenge was Boufal, and the crowd loved that. And now there's an opportunity for En-Nesyri to try and break. He outmuscles Pepe. Pepe looks to the referee when En-Nesyri was simply better than him. Now Unahi, who was offside, and it will be a free kick to Portugal.
Yeah, looked slow there, Ronaldo as well. When it came to him, just looked to shift the ball, and Boufal took it off his toes. And then, you're right, En-Nesyri was too strong for Pepe.
But Bruno Fernandes has been fouled here. 14 minutes into the second half on TalkSport. At the Alpha Mama Stadium, Africa inching towards its first ever World Cup semi-finalist. Morocco leading Portugal by a 1-0, but Cristiano Ronaldo has been thrown on here to try and rescue Portugal. Bruno Fernandes with the free kick, headed away on the edge of the penalty area by Amala. One back by Ziyech only briefly, but now Hakimi. And it's played wide by En-Nesyri looking for Ziyech, but it's blocked by a Portuguese boot. And there's an opportunity now for Bernardo Silva to bring it forward in the central area, finding Otavio. And there is so much width in this Portuguese team now. Dalot down this left-hand side, checking in field beyond Buffal. Buffal looks to come back at him once again. And now Bruno Fernandes pings it wide to the left-hand side, taken down on the chest by João Cancelo, but he's quickly closed down by Ziyech. But the support from his Manchester City teammate Bernardo Silva. And now square to Otavio, high ball in, looking for João Felix, who wins the ball in the air initially, but is unable to control where it lands. But Morocco clear, but then it's quickly won back. And here is Pepe striding forward, 30 yards out, but he goes back in field towards Otavio. Sustained pressure here, skipped wide to the right by Ronaldo, looking for Dalot again, but he runs into Asiat Amala, and the ball goes behind, and it's a goal kick, and Morocco defended that superbly.
It's brilliant, wasn't it, from Asiat Amala? He just read exactly what Dalot was going to do. Dalot wanted the left foot step over and then moving to the right. He read it, he got his body in the way, and then he refused to let him past, and that's just ignited the fans again.
Callum Robinson with an equaliser for Cardiff at Stoke, 2-2 in the Championship. TalkSport 2 the place for all the goals as they go in from the EFL, including commentary on Sheffield United against Huddersfield with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern, and Mark will be on WSL duty on TalkSport 2 tomorrow. 12:15 start for the Manchester derby at the Academy Stadium alongside Remy Allen. Watford against Hull from the Championship will be live on TalkSport 2 at 3 o'clock with Kev Hatchard and David Connolly. 1-0 to Morocco here against Portugal. Bruno Fernandes with another dangerous ball into the penalty area. It bounced twice inside the 6-yard box, but it was beyond Gonzalo Ramos, and nobody else gambled at the far post.
It's an outstanding cross from Bruno Fernandes. He really put everything into that, just to really get the pace and the whip on the cross. And he's asking the question of Ramos and of João Felix to say, where were you? Where was the run? Where was the intensity?
And the referee just having words with Yassine Bounou just to encourage him to be less tardy with the restarts here. 62 minutes played. If Morocco hold on to this, you cannot underestimate or overestimate the impact that would have on African football, because this would really put them on a different plane, but there is a long way to go. João Cancelo now on the far side into Cristiano Ronaldo, but the 1-2 doesn't quite come off between the players who were once on different sides of Manchester, but the final touch was off Ziyech, and it will be a throw-in for Portugal. Attack against defence at the moment, as Bernardo Silva looks to pick his way through, but he's lost out to Hakimi. Hakimi quickly finding Ziyech on the right-hand side. Challenge though from Ruben Diaz, and two Portuguese players move forward. Now it's in towards Bruno Fernandes with the shot, right-footed just over the top.
And he can't believe it, Bruno Fernandes. This is him all over. This is his area of expertise, which he's taking onto the right foot with open space, 18 yards out, looking to strike. It was a wonderful strike, but it's just an inch over the crossbar. You've got to keep that down, Bruno.
Morocco with 7 clean sheets in their previous 8 games. The only goal they've conceded here was an own goal from Nayef Aguerd against Canada, and they're about to make a double change here as they try to assess their resources, and they are running out of players very quickly here. Walid Chedira, who plays for Bari in Serie B, will be coming on. This will be only his 4th appearance, and Chedira will be joined on the pitch by Badir Benoun, who plays for Qatar Sports Club in Doha, formerly with Al Ahly of Egypt, and he's another player with so little international experience behind him. This would be his 5th cap. Amala and En-Nesyri are the players they're taking off, so they've gone early there, taking off their main striker and the goal scorer.
They have, but there were similar changes as well against Spain. You just bring on fresh legs to cover the ground, to make it difficult. I just wonder whether they might have gone to a back 3. It looks like they have maybe just changed systems here, Morocco. Now a back 3.
It looks like it, with Benoun just dropping in the absence of Romain Saiss. Here is Ronaldo now, challenged initially, and then the first touch for Benoun, fouling Ronaldo, and it will be a free kick here for Portugal. 65 minutes played. This would be a seismic result for African football if Morocco can hold on to this, leading by a 1-0 with 25 minutes to play on TalkSport. England against France coming up at 7 o'clock, and we will start building up to that with Adrian Durham as soon as this game finishes. A free kick routine involving Bruno Fernandes doesn't come off, and Achraf Hakimi tries to bring it forward on the far side for Morocco, challenges Pepe. Pepe this time stays on his feet. It spins into the path of Bernardo Silva, and it's back to Ruben Diaz once again. Well, there are a plethora of Premier League winners on the field now for Portugal, but they're still trailing to a side who are throwing on untried players at this level from some of the lesser lights in European football. But for Morocco, it is all about heart, it is all about spirit, it is all about togetherness, and it's one back on this near side by El Yamik. He came in today for his first ever World Cup start, and he's been superb for them so far.
Oh, he's been excellent. They have to a man, honestly, the desire and organisation, but actually the intelligence to move into position, to stop the gaps that can be played through. It's been really, really good in a defensive sense to watch. It's maybe not pretty, but it is so effective against these top sides.
If you don't concede, you'll win games.
Yes.
Yeah. And Hakimi on the far side again wins it back, and he has been a real team leader for them, along with Ziyech down the right in the second half, and he rides into a couple of challenges now and then commits a foul 10 yards inside the Moroccan half for a challenge on Otavio, and it will be a Portuguese free kick. But in terms of shots on target, Portugal have had 1 in the 4th minute.
Yeah, says so much, doesn't it, about being denied, but they have really upped the tempo. Portugal, it's going to be so difficult for Morocco.
Now João Cancelo delivers another cross in, headed away by Dari at the near post. Now Bruno Fernandes wide to Dallo, back in field again to Otavio, who at times now is the deepest lying player as they throw forward both of their central defenders to try and supplement the midfield. This is a real gamble. There will be 2 more players coming on very soon for Portugal as they look to attack. Bruno Fernandes with the ball in over the head of Ronaldo, claimed by Bunu.
Yeah, just tried with the outside of his foot. Bruno Fernandes drifted in from this right hand side, just looked to caress that in towards Ronaldo's head, and he just put a little bit too much on it. Ronaldo trying that leap, but Bunu easily able to claim, and more star-studied substitutions for Portugal.
Gonzalo Ramos is coming off, no hat-trick for him today. Rafa Leao will replace him, and Otavio is also withdrawn, and Vitinha comes on, and there is just an air of desperation about Portugal at the moment.
Yeah, just a bit. They've got to try something though, I guess. Leao's he's a top player.
Yes. But you look at the way that they are playing here, and you look at the situation facing them. They are dominating possession, they are delivering the crosses into the penalty area, but they're coming from the sort of places on the pitch where Morocco are very comfortable. They're set up to defend that sort of ball in.
Yes, they are. And you now look at the three centre-backs for Morocco. They're all over 6 foot. They're close together. It's going to have to be a really good ball and a good run to beat them from across.
Bruno Fernandes on this near side, back towards Dalot. Now Vitinha has support from Bernardo Silva, who on the whole has been quiet in the game. And it's wide to Rafael Leao, using his pace beyond Hakimi towards the byline, delivers the cross in. He was taken out by Dari, and the referee trying to play the advantage, but a yellow card has been shown to Ashraf Dari because he really careered into Leao on the far side, and the Milan player is currently down off the field of play and looks to be in some pain.
Look, he was trying to block the cross, but he's fully committed and he just slides in on Leao. It's a clear foul.
Free kick on the far side for Portugal on their left. We've got 20 minutes to play and Morocco still lead by a goal to nil on TalkSport. All over Morocco, all over Africa, all over the Arabic world. Nails will now be chewed because these are huge moments. Bernardo Silva over the free kick. Can Portugal prize an equaliser here? Ronaldo makes the run, but it's low into the penalty area, looking for Bernardo Silva. He was on the stretch, he wasn't set for it. No communication there. Recovered by Rafael Leao. Now on this near side, the right, but he turns into Sofiane Boufal, and it was Amrabat who eventually made the challenge, and he maybe slightly over extravagantly applauds the assistant as he gives the throw into Morocco.
Oh, but it was a clever free kick. Bruno Fernandes saw that Bernardo Silva was free, but just overhit it. Totally overhit the pass from the free kick towards the penalty spot. Bernardo Silva couldn't stretch for it.
Thrown forward now towards Boufal on this near side for Morocco. They've barely been inside the Portuguese half in the second half here, but they still lead by a goal to nil. And you can hear the whistles. They will get louder, they will get shriller the longer this game goes on. Dalot swings another deep ball into the penalty area, headed away at the far post by Hakimi. They'll take those all day long.
Well, I think Ronaldo was offside as well. He's been offside so often in this World Cup. He's desperate to get in there. He's got his arms up in the air for Dalot to whip that in. Poor delivery.
Walid Regragui stands on the edge of the technical area, arms folded as Bernardo Silva slips and then flips it wide to the far side. And Portugal here are running out of time. 18 minutes to play. They trail by a goal to nil. Vitinha leaves it for Pepe. And Ruben Diaz has got support. And basically, they've got no one to mark at the moment because everybody's back defending. Played in field again by Bruno Fernandes, and now Dalot with the run into the penalty area. And it's gone behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, that's the first glimpse. I've thought they've just looked a little bit fatigued. Morocco, they're having to put in a superhuman effort again defensively. And Atiat Allah managed to get back eventually.
Bruno Fernandes with the corner, an outswinger, high to the far post. It's cleared away as far as Bernardo Silva. Now wide to the far side, but very quickly Zayas looks to make the challenge, but there is an opportunity to deliver the cross in now, but it's quickly closed down on the far side. And it was João Cancelo looking to play the ball in, but it's gone behind for another corner.
Yeah, it's brilliant skill from Cancelo. Faked as if he was going to play it backwards and then chopped down the line. Well blocked again, but they've got to offer something going forwards, Morocco. Surely they can't withstand this.
Corner kick again into the near post, headed behind. And what is the referee given here? I think he was going to order a retake anyway. It was nodded behind by Chadira. And Morocco continue to cling on here. 16 minutes to play. Morocco 1, Portugal 0. On TalkSport in the World Cup quarter-finals. Corner delivered deep again. Bruno comes a long way and just gets desperate fingertips to that, and it's gone behind for another corner.
Yeah, it was a deep corner from Bruno Fernandes. and he did well, Bruno, to just about get a fingertip to it, and João Felix was right behind him.
Fernando Santos way outside his technical area. He was trying to tell Bruno Fernandes to play the corner short there to Vitinha, but instead it's driven high to the far post. Two Portuguese players go down, Ruben Diaz and Pepe. I think they collided with each other, headed away by Amrabat. Again, he has had a Herculean effort for the Moroccan team, and he will try and win the ball again on the far side. Ruben Diaz, though, comes into the challenge but doesn't come away with the ball. Ziyech plays it forward, and Morocco now will try and break over the halfway line with Chedira. It's wide towards the far side. The early ball down the centre, looking for Unahi. Unahi brings the ball down. The space inside the penalty area. Chedira looking to bring the ball down, but in the end it spins away from him at the crucial moment. It's a goal kick, but Morocco almost had the opening to finish things off.
Oh, they did really well on the counter-attack to feed it all the way through. They were panicking, Portugal, and they just couldn't find that extra pass. Chedira, he just has to look up, pass it to Hakimi, who was behind him, but they've got to offer that, I think, Morocco. There's a second goal for them if they get it right.
15 minutes to play. This is why we cover the World Cups, for stories like this. Morocco leading Portugal by a goal to nil. 44,198 is the official attendance, as a high ball is played into the penalty area, looking for Ronaldo, headed away at the far post initially, and then scrambled clear by Dari, one of the youngsters who has come on in the second half. Appeals for handball against Chedira. Africa inching towards their first ever World Cup semi-final here, and if it stays like this, Morocco will play England or France in the final four on Wednesday. They meet at Al Bat live on TalkSport at 7 o'clock. Dallo on this near side, plays it back inside to Vitinha. Vitinha has lost out. Chedira will chase the loose ball forward, but Pepe cuts off his route to goal. And I think Wale Chedira has just been told there now, just stay there and see what you can do.
Yeah, but he was a nuisance actually against Spain. If you allow him to run, he's got pace, he's got strength.
Rafael Leao plays it down the line, and the corner into the cross into the penalty area from João Cancelo is headed away. Leao wins it back again, but he's challenged by Boufal. He will bring it clear. Now Hakimi tries to find Ziyech on the far side. It was a desperate challenge from Ruben Diaz because the break was on.
It was a good challenge though, wasn't it? He read it and he clattered into Ziyech.
There's a player down for Morocco on the far side. Ziyech, play continues. Dallo with a low ball into the penalty area, and it's scraped away at the near post by Dari. Kept in play by Morocco. Chedira will try and lead the counter-attack now. Unahi is in support to the left-hand side. Unahi now receives it. Chedira continues his run forward, needs to stay onside. Unahi breaks towards the edge of the penalty area, and he was hoping that Boufal was on the outside. He stayed where he was, and it's regathered by Bernardo Silva.
He just didn't have anything in the legs, Boufal, to go and chase that, as Ziyech is still down. Dallo's flexing his hamstring as if he's felt something as well.
And we will have a break in play here on TalkSport. Everybody needs a breather. 12 and a half minutes to play. For African football, this is absolutely huge. For Morocco and their fans, who have been brilliant here throughout the World Cup, whenever we go into the souk, whenever we go around this city, all you see are Moroccan shirts, Moroccan flags.
Yeah, I mean, they've been some of the stars of the tournament, the Moroccan fans. As I look across to the right there, a couple of the supporters hanging off the stand, drum being beaten, and that big thunderclap.
All changes coming up. I think they're running out of players here, Morocco, but Wale Gregegi is having words with all potential replacements here. He's also spoken to Yawad Al-Yamik and made it very clear what he wants from him in the closing stage. There's Yaha Jabrani, who plays for Wydad, the club at which Wale Gregegi really made his name. He will be coming on. There's a change as well for Portugal. Diego Dallo is heading off, and Ricardo Horta, a player who is in this World Cup after 8 years away from the national side, he comes on.
Yeah, I think he's tweaked something, Dallo, holding the back of his leg. So a worry for Manchester United fans.
Hakim Ziyech is receiving treatment on the far side, but he is determined to come back onto the field of play. Jason Bourne, our football editor, tells me Ronaldo's had 7 touches of the ball since coming on. You've touched the ball more than he has. You're kicking every ball here. Here is Horta on this near side. Poor ball from him though. It's cut out by Unahi. And now Amrabat plays it forward. There's a chase for Chidera, but he won't get anywhere near that. And it's gathered by Portugal once again.
They don't allow the ball to go into you as a forward. I wouldn't be surprised if there's many Portuguese ball players that have touched it many times.
Now Rafael Leao on the far side. 10 minutes to play. Morocco lead 1-0. History beckons for them on TalkSport at the 2022 World Cup. Portugal striving for the equaliser to take us into extra time here. They've thrown on all of the big guns, but at the moment it's not happening for them. Here is Vitinha. On the halfway line is Ruben Diaz. And despite all the pressure, all the star names on the field, they've had one effort on target, and that was 76 minutes ago. Now Unani plays it down the line for Chidera. Pepe had to make that, and he did on the far side. Otherwise, Morocco would have been in again.
Unahi, though, he's been outstanding, hasn't he? In the Moroccan midfield, just weaving his way through. So much energy.
Made his debut in January.
Yeah.
And here he is in a World Cup. Amrabat is now coming on. Boufal and Ziyech are going off. And Amrabat takes the captain's armband, and it will be 4 changes for Morocco, and it's Jabrane and Aboukal who are coming on. Jabrane has been used very sparingly. 5 minutes so far against Canada in the final match of the group stage. Zakaria Aboukal scored against Belgium, the clinching goal in that game. And let's just put into context what they're doing here. They beat Belgium 2-0. They drew 0-0 with Croatia, the world finalists 4 years ago, who are in the semi-finals. And they beat Spain, keeping clean sheets. They are not a flash in the pan.
No. And the way they defend can make you just think, oh, well, that's all they are. No, they've actually got quality as well when they do get the ball, and the way they pass through you when they counter-attack against you.
Lofted wide to this near side, and Horta again. He tries to keep the ball in play, and he scoops it into the penalty area, but it's cut out on this near side. But then it's won back by Horta, low into Ronaldo, laid back, and the shot tipped over the top. It was João Felix who fired in the effort, and Bunu with a brilliant save.
Outstanding from Bunu with his right hand, because it was a mistake that led to the chance. Ronaldo just laid it off into João Felix's path. He struck it first time with his left foot. He's heading for the top corner, and Bunu with a big, strong right hand to flick it over the top.
Corner kick on the far side. Once again, they've had so many in the second half, Portugal. An in-swinger from Bruno Fernandes, fisted away by Bunu. Ronaldo leapt in front of him, but was unable to make contact. Who was Unahi on this near side? But it's a throw-in for Portugal, taken quickly by Vitinha. 7 minutes to play. 7 minutes plus added time is all that stands between Morocco and an FA Cup, a World Cup semi-final, but it feels like an FA Cup tie at the moment. That resumes in January, by the way. Here is Horta on this near side. Back again towards Vitinha. In towards João Felix, and he's barged over by Chidera, and it will be a free kick here for Portugal. 30 yards out, central area. Do they go for goal, Dean Ashton?
Do you mean, does Ronaldo go for goal?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
No, Bruno Fernandes has set this up. I'm pretty sure he'll look to play this one in, because Ruben Diaz and Pepe, Ronaldo in the box. Or does he just try the sneaky, I'm going to cross it, but actually try and fire it to that near post?
Portugal need inspiration. A goal down to Morocco. Bruno Fernandes looks to slide it in towards João Felix, but they'd seen that trick before. Unahi brings it clear. He was in the wall, he blocked it, brought it forward, then won a free kick.
That was just see-through from Bruno Fernandes. I mean,
yeah, that only works without Weghorst.
I mean, it was the way he ran up to it. You knew he wasn't going to cross it in. You knew it was just so easy to read. I mean,
well, just listen to these Moroccan fans. They have been one of the stories of the World Cup. If it stays like this, this will be the story of the World Cup so far. Morocco heading to the semi-finals. Hakimi on the far side. What a giant he has been for them as Portugal win it back but have to play very deep here. Vitinha slips on the edge of his own penalty area, but he was fouled and he's got the free kick.
Hakimi's got insane levels of fitness, by the way. Honestly, he still looks like he's at the start of the game, the way he chased back there.
Well, he was visited by his friend Kylian Mbappe before the Spain game, and maybe some of that magic dust has rubbed off on him because he has been superb today, but among so many in red shirts. Now Ruben Diaz, wide to the far side as we tick into the 86th minute. 1-0 to Morocco. Rafa Leao with the cross in, cleared away by Amrabat. Amrabat is there again to just hammer the ball into touch on the far side.
Oh, they don't care now, Morocco. It's just anywhere will do. Just a really tight-knit 5-1-4 formation. Get through as if you can.
The boos and the jeers ringing out from the Moroccan supporters as Portugal here strive for the equalising goal. 4.5 minutes of normal time to play. Morocco lead 1-0. Pepe back to Vitinha, and now Ruben Diaz wide to the far side, and Bernardo Silva looking for Ronaldo inside the penalty area, but the ball evades him and everybody else. It's kept in play on this near side by Bruno Fernandes, and eventually the crossing is blocked by Atiat Allah, one of a number of players on the field for Morocco with less than 10 international appearances to their name. Bruno Fernandes with another crossing, appeals for handball inside the penalty area as it was headed away at the near post by El Yamik, but the referee making it very clear that it was a secondary touch onto the arm, not deliberate, no penalty, but it is a corner.
Yeah, it was a diving header away. He headed it into the ground and then it hit his arm. All of the Portuguese bench was out, claiming for it.
Corner kick from Bruno Fernandes, headed away again at the near post by Chedira, and then a free kick given, late challenge by Vitinha on the edge of the penalty area. Yellow card for Vitinha, and signs once again that the Portuguese tempers are getting rather frayed at the edges.
Yeah, the referee gets a volley of abuse from Pepe and Ruben Diaz as they run past and back into position, but it's that man Unahi again that does really well just to clear the ball and gets clattered by Vitinha.
But all around this stadium there are Moroccan fans on their feet, whirling their national flags above their heads. You talk about I was there moments. If they hang on, this is it. This is everything for them.
The scenes when that whistle blows will be infectious.
Free kick for Morocco. Bounou is waving everybody forward here to try and clear the Moroccan half. And now he clears long downfield, looking for Chedira on this near side. It's over his head. Volley cleared by Pepe, but it's blocked by Unahi. Almost won back by Chedira on the edge of the penalty area, but Portugal will try and play out again. Heading towards the 89th minute here on TalkSport. Morocco 1, Portugal 0. Africa almost have their first ever semi-finalists at the World Cup, and it's happening here and now on TalkSport with England against France still to come. What a day this is turning out to be. The Moroccan bench are out as well. Everybody's a coach at the moment on both sides of the ball. Now Vitinha on this near side, twists away from the challenge of Atiat Allah. Back to Bernardo Silva. And now João Felix. Terrible ball from him, wide to this near side, beyond Bruno Fernandes, out for a goal kick. And the Moroccan players turn to their fans and say, come on, more noise.
They just haven't had the answers, have they, Portugal? They've been frustrated all day. They've not been able to have the quality. They cannot create a chance against the red wall of Morocco. That defence has been unbelievable.
Well, these are moments you'll remember for a long, long time. Into the 90th minute, Morocco 1, Portugal 0. Every Moroccan replacement is off the bench, telling their players to move forward as a block here. And they've won a throw-in, have they? No, it's a Portuguese throw-in, but it's deep inside their own half. Bruno Fernandes will take it. And very soon we'll be wondering how much added time we will have here, because that's all Portugal will have left. They scored 6 against the Swiss, but at the moment they've not been able to breach this incredible Moroccan defence. Rafael Leao, 2 goals for him already in the tournament. Wide on the far side. Ronaldo waits on the edge of the penalty area. High ball in again, but it's headed away by El Shamik towards this near side. Now Joao Felix. Amrabat comes in with a challenge. The referee thought about giving a free kick but didn't. Amrabat charging forward now, and there's a run forward from Chedira, and he's onside down the left hand side. Unahi waits in the penalty area. Chedira goes himself and he squirts the shot across the face of goal. Had he delayed, Abu Kyle was waiting at the far post, and we're into a minimum of 8 more minutes.
He was offside anyway. He'd gone too early, but he made a mess of the chances. Ronaldo's in.
Now Ronaldo on the edge of the penalty area drives in the shot, and it's kept out by Bunu. And Cristiano Ronaldo, looking for his first knockout goal in World Cup history to save his country, is denied by Bunu.
Oh, and that could be the chance that he's been looking for. It was a really good ball from Bruno Fernandes. Just curled it behind one of the centre-backs, and Ronaldo was away. He got on the end of it. It was a brilliant strike, but Bunu was there again down to his left-hand side to deny him.
There is absolute chaos off the field here. Both technical areas are emptying on a regular basis. A yellow card's been shown, I think, to Chedira for time wasting. And it's a free kick for Portugal. And we are a minute into the 8 additional here. Rafa Leao with the cross into the penalty area. Headed away at the near post by Benoun. But it will come back again from Portugal. Bernardo Silva wide to this near side. And Bruno Fernandes. He just checks and plays it square to Vitinha. There are Moroccan commentators all around us here, absolutely doing their fruit at the moment, because they want their team to get back, and the pass forward is deflected beyond Bruno Fernandes behind for a goal kick.
It's just not working, is it, for Portugal? That's twice now that you've just played it out of play for a goal kick. You can't do that. You've got to keep the ball alive when you're trying to get that equaliser. You can't give away any time to be wasted.
They've not been clever enough, have they, Portugal? Let's be honest. They've got talented players, but they've been a team of individuals here today. They've been classic Portugal.
Yeah.
Bunu clears downfield. In terms of team ethic, Morocco have been all over them, but now they are down to 10 men, because Walid Chedira, who was booked a few moments ago, now gets a second yellow card for a challenge on Joao Felix, and Chedira is dismissed. Walid Regragui can't believe it, but Morocco are down to 10 players for the remainder of this game.
Well, I mean, look, they're just trying to put in as much as they can. He's gone flying in, and it's definitely a second yellow card. He's got the studs showing onto Joao Felix's right foot. He got yellow carded for an elbow on Pepe originally. Just adds to the drama.
So Morocco are down to 10. Bruno Fernandes plays it infield to Bernardo Silva. He's got support. Wide on the far side from João Cancelo. Back to Vitinha, who is basically the defence now. Everybody is forward for Portugal. Bernardo Silva receives the ball from João Cancelo. 10 yards inside the Moroccan half. 3 minutes into added time on TalkSport. Morocco lead by a goal to 0. England against France coming up at the end of this game. At the moment, Morocco are minutes away from history.
Honestly, the defending in this game from Morocco has just been incredible. Can they hold on?
Another high ball played forward. Bruno Fernandes wins the header, and it's headed away inside the penalty area again by El Yamik. He has had an incredible game.
I mean, they're so tightly knit together, though. They're just so hard to play the ball through or
corner kick.
Cross right.
Corner kick played short to Joao Felix into the near post, and again it was a poor delivery, headed away unchallenged by Atiatala, and it will be a throw-in to Portugal. And they've used up 4 of the additional 8 minutes here. Morocco lead 1-0. High ball into the penalty area again, but it swings beyond the head of a despairing Ruben Diaz, and it's behind for a goal kick. And Morocco have a nation, a continent behind them, and at the moment they are so close.
But they just keep being gifted by Portugal. Another rule, you don't overplay a deep cross. You hang it up nice and high so it cannot then go out of play. Cancelo with the whip deep ball, and it goes too far and out of play again, and Bunu will just jog across leisurely to take the goal kick.
Well, we talk about the history. This could be the last we'll see of Cristiano Ronaldo at a World Cup as well. He's on borrowed time here, just like Portugal, as it's flicked on by Aboukal, who is now basically the furthest player forward for Morocco, as their 10 players shuffle across to the far side. Leao with a high ball into the penalty area towards the far post, volleyed clear though by Atiatali, and now there's a chase for Aboukal. Aboukal is clean through, he can settle it here, but he dinks it into the body of Diego Costa, and that was the moment to seal Morocco's place in the semi-finals.
Oh, what's he doing? Aboukal, what is he doing? Just take it round the goalkeeper, you've got the pace on him, and you try the dink.
Now Amrabat, immense as always for Morocco, brings the ball out. Unani plays it wide to the far side, and it's Hakimi charging forward from right back. What's he doing in the 95th minute? It's cleared away though by Diego Costa, played forward by Amrabat. Hakimi's about 15 yards offside. He's absolutely knackered. Played forward now by Bernardo Silva, headed away again by El Yamik. His head seems to have had magnetic properties in the second half. Bruno Fernandes with the ball in, deflected at the near post by João Felix, and it's hooked away by El Yamik again.
And he has got cramp. El Yamik, he's put in such effort. Quick stretch of the calves. Amrabat's down as well. He's totally done in. Hakimi finally gets himself back into shape.
2 minutes of added time to play. That's all that stands between Morocco and the semi-finals. Vitinha with the ball into the penalty area. It comes to Rafa Leao at the far post. Desperate challenge by Hakimi. Leao is now forced outside the penalty area. Across in again, looking for Ronaldo. Headed behind by Pepe. And that was the chance, the veteran. Inches away from the equaliser. But Portugal can't believe it. They have missed another glorious opportunity, and Morocco survive.
Oh, well, there's always a chance. There's always one chance when you're trying to equalise late in a game, and that's the chance, Pepe. It comes over everyone's head. You've got the free header. You're glancing it towards that far post, and you've not given it enough. What an opportunity for Pepe.
Unbelievable. The man who's nearly 40 almost came up with an equaliser in the 97th minute to deny Morocco, but the 10 men still lead here on TalkSport. I tell you what, England against France has got a lot to live up to following this. Our coverage will begin after this game, but this is a huge story if it stays like this. Portugal on the way out here, another European giant about to be sent packing by Morocco. Rafa Leao goes down, no free kick given, as Morocco just hammer the ball deep inside the Portuguese half. We have 40 seconds of added time to play here. High from João Cancelo towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's bounced through again, and it's gone behind. And is that the final chance for Portugal? It's all over! The full-time whistle has gone, and Morocco have done it! They are into the semi-finals. It is a victory for Morocco, a victory for Africa, a victory for the Arabic nation. History is made at the Al Thamama Stadium. The Moroccan players sink to their knees in disbelief. Their magnificent fans are beside themselves with joy. This is one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history, and in a World Cup full of shocks, this tops everything. Africa has a semi-finalist for the first time ever, and if England beat France, the Three Lions will meet the Atlas Lions in the semi-finals.